Hello, 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 and welcome back to my podcast, Nobody Asked Your Opinion. I'm your host, Siobhan McGriff, where nobody asked my opinion, but I damn sure I'm going to give it to you. Welcome in, guys. Tonight, or early tonight, I guess I should say, what am I drinking? I am drinking, hold on. I am drinking some 1800 coconut with a slice of lime. All right, so let's begin. What are we talking about? These big ass headphones on. What am I talking about? Okay, I actually was going to talk about something different, but I think this is actually a good one. I am going to talk about, the title tonight is going to be F-Boys Don't Ever Age. And I can't say what I want to say until, but I think you know what I mean. You know what an F-boy is. When I was younger, we called them players. They've been called gimps. And, it's funny, every generation has a different name of them. This generation, it's F-boys. It's F-boys. And I am here to destroy the hopes and dreams of all young women. Ladies, they don't age. Let's begin with what is an F-boy? What is a player? It's for my generation, it is a time waster. It is a guy who has no intention of having any type of committed relationship with you, marrying you, sharing kids with you, sharing life with you, the normal routine day-to-day of what most people consider what a relationship is. This is a guy you usually meet for sex, or dinner and a movie and sex, or dinner and car sex, whatever, it's usually some of the best sex that we've had in our life. Not always, but I think it's the air of the kind of forbidden because, as women, we're not stupid, right? So we know this guy is not good for us. And what do I mean? I mean, we know that there's no hope of this being an actual relationship, but we hold on. I'm going to be 45. What's funny is as you hit your 40s, ladies, you really think that you are smart enough, and no offense to women in their 20s, but that's where you usually believe the F-boys and the players live, right? Turns out, again, title of this podcast, they don't age. They're there through every decade of your life. I think there's probably 70-year-old F-boys living in nursing homes right now, still doing the same shit they've always done. So, again, not to break your heart, but for the younger women, they don't age, honey. They don't get better. They're there. We still end up being attracted to them. We still end up time wasting. Okay, so as a woman of my age, and I hate saying that, my age, like I'm 80, but my age. So what does that mean? I hate them, okay? And I say that with just pure venom. Because time, as you get older, is the most precious commodity you're going to have. You can't pay for time. You can't get time back. You can't repeat time. So time is something that, if I could go back and do my 20s over again, I completely would. And you don't think that time is going to go by as fast as it does. But then, you have kids, you get married, you're in a relationship, you get divorced, whatever your life, turns out to be. And you look up and you're like, oh my God, you think you have all the time in the world when you're a teenager and when you're in your 20s. And it seems like it, right? But trust me, it goes by really fast. And so the reason I hate these guys, and I've personal experience, that's what I attract. It's like I wear a perfume that says "Eau de fuck boy." I don't know what I am doing, but please feel free to school me. But yeah, so I hate anybody that wastes my time. I think that's a lot of people, but I particularly hate that. What is a player and F-boy? Okay, so you're going to waste a woman's time. And this may sound sexist, but women have it sounds terrible, like, because you still can date. I still see myself dating. I'm all about being a golden girl and being out there, right? But it does make it harder, right? It's harder to date as you get older. Like most men want a woman who is younger, who has not been, fractured by life, who does not have a bitter streak or have, some history with a guy, or they have kids already, or they have an ex-husband, or they have the drama and the baggage, and they don't want to bring that along. They want, as you get older, you want less stress, right? What I hate about what a player or an F-boy does is, when I say time waster, I'd love to know the ones that are out there, because you know who you are, right? You know who you are. But why do you think it's okay to just steal someone's time? And what does that mean? Because as women, we tend to be, I hate saying it, but we tend to be an emotional creature, right? So what a player or an F-boy does is they keep laying this road with the maybe someday or possibly, and so women were just like, and not all women, I definitely was worse when I was younger. As you get older, you're like, wait a minute, I know what you are, and so whether you choose to continue with it is up to you. But they lay these little traps, so you're always hoping something is going to change. And men tend not to be emotional creatures. That it doesn't mean they don't have emotion, but it's how some of them are able to just be so cold and cutting with some of the. I think we all have been there. You're just like, break up through text, break up through an email. Women tend not to do that, right? So why I hate them is I hate the waste of time. I think it'd be great at the start of a relationship if you could, I guess men are afraid of our fury, right? Because if imagine you were on a first date and the guy was like, well, this is great, but I actually have no intention of taking you down this relationship path. My goal is to take you back to my house, or take you to a hotel, or to the backseat of a car, F the hell out of you, and then we'll continue that again in a couple of weeks. And so you have to ask yourself, because again, this happens to every woman, and the difference between a player and like an F-boy, it's not a one night stand. Usually, it's a continual thing, and for them, I feel like our allowing this it's like a drug for them, because they keep coming back, right, until you're like, no, I am not doing this with you anymore. So you ask yourself, why do you allow the time to waste? Now, when you're in your 20s, hold on. Sorry, my throat is dry. When you're in your 20s, you have the time. And that's the time when you are able to differentiate and waste time and do stupid stuff. And, I hate, as we get older, that women, I'm telling you, in your 20s, they are still here. I'm in my 40s, they are still here. And I hate that they are still, because you would hope that by the time you have reached your 40s, your 50s, hell, your 30s, that you would have had the sense maturity enough to not waste a woman's time. So what causes a woman to have rage? This right here, okay? Wasting my time, wasting my best vagina years. Like, I don't want to waste, you like women, you know what I mean? Like you're, and then the potential, what do they say? Blocking your blessings, right? And because women tend to focal point on one relationship or one guy, it doesn't mean we don't have multiple. It doesn't mean we can have one guy relationship and three guys on the side, right? Because we can, but it does mean we do tend to, I'll quote, remember the song, oh Lord, what's their name? There was God, this shows my age right here. Cause you get a thought and then you're like, what the hell was I going to say? Okay. Naughty by Nature. Sorry. I'm really not that old. I'm just tired. It's been a day. But what did Tretch say? What did he say? you put your heart in a part that spreads apart. You know, that that line held me throughout my 20s because I was like, that's not true. It is abso-freaking-lutely true, right? Yeah, completely true. So when I say like your best V years, I don't want to waste those on you, okay? But why do we do it? Why do we do it? That's what I want to know. Why, even though we know you are wasting our time, you keep coming back. And sometimes, and I know what some people are going to say, you come back because the D is good, right? The D is good. The relationship is good. It's easy. That's not always the case. That's not always the case. That's been the case for me. It's not always been like this, you took me to O-Town every time, that's definitely not always the case. So I would ask, why, knowing, and even hell, I'd ask my 20-year-old self. I mean, again, when you're in your 20s, you don't have the life experience to kind of see what it's about to hit you with. So you're more willing to make that mistake. But as we get older, again, you continue doing this. You continue doing it. I guess for me, I don't have an answer for myself. I am not, I always said, well, I am not Oprah. I am not here to counsel you. I can only speak for myself. I ask and I look at friends' relationships and everything. We tend to keep repeating the same mistake. The reason I ask, and by all means, F-boys, you comment right down below. Why do you think it's okay to waste time? Why do you think it's okay to do that? Like, if all you want to do is bang, just say that. Like, Jersey Shore it, right? Was it laundry? I can't remember what the hell the thing is. At least they were honest, right? At least I would so much, but I feel like men are afraid of honesty. And I don't know, that's some psychological crap right there, because I think they're afraid of our rage. Because, I think we can be honest with ourselves. We get angry, and you get angry if you're not told or you hear what you want to hear. And then you're out there, with a hanger next to their car. So not that I've ever done that. I have never. I would never. I don't believe in damaging a car, but I would say, why do you think it's okay? Like, what is your intention? Is it just like, again, you get up in the morning, you text whichever girl, you call whichever girl, let her go. That's part of it. That's part of my rage. Because blocking your blessings, okay? And I promise this is not going to be a public service announcement where I rage on, because I'm not raging. They annoy the out of me. That's all I will say. And the reason I say it is because what is your intention? Why do you do it? And ladies, why do we sit back and continue to allow it to happen, right? So you're doing it. Ladies, it's being done to you. Is it just the enjoyment? Is that pleasure pain principle? Like, what's going on? Like, they're unattainable. So it's this fun, like, chase thing. When I say wasting time and blocking blessings, it's because in the interim of that, you could be having a healthy, functioning relationship. If that's your choice, that may not be your choice. Not everybody wants the whole happily ever after and the marriage and the 2.0 kids. Not everybody wants that. And that's actually becoming definitely more prevalent today. And today, I congratulate this generation. Everybody's like, oh, marriage rates are dropped. Good for y'all. Marriage sucks. Okay. So good for y'all. Anybody who's married is freaking miserable, and they'll be the first person to tell you that. But I still, when I say wasting, that doesn't mean, you want the marriage, but I'd rather you not waste my time with, cause you can have a relationship that is open and honest, that is obviously involves sex, but it doesn't involve playing games. And that's what I feel like, these guys do. They're playing a game, they're playing a long game. And then when, they're like little bees. And as soon as you wise up, they go pollinate another area. And, I guess, ladies, why do you stay? Questions. Why do you stay? What is your longest player F-boy relationship? Are there female? I guess F girls. I'm sure there are. I don't know what. I guess we don't get called that, and it's not that we are open and honest in a relationship, because we are not. And if you are told that, you are being lied to. We have secrets too, but we definitely. I think that women don't waste time. What is it? Because we have that biological clock, right? And that's not saying that every woman wants to sit back and push out babies, because they don't. I did an earlier podcast where I said parenting sucks, and I will keep repeating that. Parenting sucks. And, it doesn't mean you don't love your kid, but being a parent is a very selfless job. So, yeah, what is your longest relation? How long until you put up with it? How long until you listen to your friends, your inner voice? And I mean, do you agree with me? The scary part is now, again, at my age, I look around, and as I date, it's crazy that they're still here. Like, I've been in long-term relationships, and it's, wow. I'm almost mad, because now you're here, and I'm at an age where not only do I not have the patience, I really don't have the time. And, I know men, we're all rushing. We all want to get married, remarried. No, we don't. I damn sure don't. I just don't want anybody to waste my time. I'd rather have, honesty and transparency. I'd rather you were like, oh yeah, I just want to bang. Okay. That's not saying that can't just happen. But if you're having this pretense of a relationship in order to gain sexual, the cookie, you're an a-hole. You are an a-hole. And if you're just wasting time, because, men are isolated, like some things, they're like freaking alley cats, and they mark you, right? And so, and they're just not allowing, a man who would actually want to spend time with you to spend time with you, where you could, concentrate on yourself, or hell, be alone and concentrate on your own self, on your own growth, on your own goals, on your own blessings, on if you have kids, on your kids, whatever your endpoint goal is. But in the end, again, not trying to break ladies' hearts in their 20s, because I wish someone had told me that they're still here. I think, I grew up watching the Golden Girls, and it's so funny because you really, I think back some of the episodes, and they were telling us that no matter what age, they're still here. And it's not saying that, and obviously not all men are like this, but the ones that are, God, you can't outgrow it like snakeskin. Like you can't, don't you get tired of being this false person? I was reading an article, and they said that these guys, they do get tired. They get lonely as they get older, and they don't have a wife, or they don't have that family. And a lot of them have, what do they say, substance abuse problems or depression, because they didn't establish, a life for themselves when they were younger. I don't know. I guess I don't know if that's true, because again, men are, men. It seems that men can date to an unheard of age, and women, it's like, they're cutting us off. By the time we're 40, we're you're dried up, or you're if you're not married, or if you're not in a relationship, people act like you never will be. And I just, again, for the life of me, it's just, the freeing part is that now women, of my age, like if you look at, I love talking about her Kim Kardashian and the Pete Davidson relationship. What's funny? I love that Pete Davidson, although not an F-boy, he's like Splenda, okay? He's a sugar replacement when you can't get sugar, right? So for those people that really thought that him and Kim Kardashian were going to have this long-term relationship, no. Pete Davidson plays a role for women, and he's smart enough to realize, and that's how but people cannot understand. I personally don't find him attractive, but I understand the attraction. And I think the attraction has to do with the fact that there's no pretense. You know what you're getting into. And I wish more men were like that. As women in our 40s, we're definitely a lot more upfront than we were even 20 years ago. We're upfront about our sexuality, our sexual needs. And again, as you get older, you're just not going to put up with the same nonsense that you did in your 20s, or, allow the time waster, the player, to come along and just waste your time. Or maybe you do, what the hell do I know? But yeah, I guess, as I wrap this one up, again, my question is, have you been, hell, are you in your 60s dealing with an F-boy? Are you in your 50s dealing with an F-boy? Hell, look at J-Lo, right? A-Rod is one of the original F-boys, and that's why it didn't work. And it's scary that, you look at that and you have someone who, sounds bad. I'm really not a fan of J-Lo, but she's a beautiful woman, and she has aged like she cryogenically froze herself or something. But she has aged so well. Sorry, my screen went out. I wasn't paying attention. She has aged so well, but she's still F-boy. It's disheartening. In your 50s, how much of her time did he waste with no intention of they were about to get married? And he's sitting there DMing chicks in another state. Like, come on. Like, is it ever over? I want to know, do I have, ladies in your 60s and 70s, do I have to look forward to this for yet another 30 years? When is it over? When do we is it never over? Do we get to relax? For the F-boys, again, why do you do it? Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired? And, it's funny. A friend of mine said to me, you're assuming, I was talking about doing this as a topic, and she's like, you're assuming that all F-boys are single. Some of them are not. Some of them can be in relationships. Some of them can be divorced. And what's crazy is, I don't know if it's the woman, if they know how to, they just want the availability of sex without any type of reality or commitment. I don't know. Again, I am not Oprah. I am not Dr. Ruth. I am not here to psychoanalyze anybody. I can only speak for myself, but I do ask the question, and with the scary answer, they're still here. I'm still dealing with players and F-boys, and it is exhausting. At some point, please let it be over, right? But again, what the hell do I know? But I thank you guys for listening in tonight. Truly appreciate it, as always. And please feel free to give me a comment or tell me your F-boy relationship issues. I really want to hear from women in like retirement communities. And I want to know, is it true? Are they going to be there waiting for me when I am just trying to sit back and crochet a sweater? Are you there? Are you waiting for me there too? Because again, I can't imagine they're going to shed that snakeskin, right? Do they change? God knows. But either way, thank you guys for listening in. As always, I am your host, Siobhan, and this is Nobody Asked Your Opinion. You guys have a good night. Bye-bye.